Davidson. I'm still here at the Relots conference in sunny Brighton. I'm very pleased to have with me Ed Stern, who is the lead writer for Splash Damage, which is Green. Ed, please can you introduce yourself?
Hi there, my name's Edward Stern. I'm lead writer at Splash Damage.
Tell us a bit more about Splash Damage.
Splash Damage actually started off as a PC mod team. Started off as the Q3F mod team back in 2001, but then went professional with the help of id Software and Activision. Then we worked on basically on Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake. We worked on Return to Castle Wolfenstein multiplayer maps, then got to make a game called Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, then got to work on the Doom 3 multiplayer maps, and then made the PC version of Enemy Territory Quake Wars, and then we've just released Brink through Bethesda Software.
Tell us a bit more about what a writer does at a games company, maybe how you came to be working at Splash Damage in the first place.
Well, my previous experience was mainly in TV production, in fact, and Paul Wedgwood, who started Splash Damage, was a consultant for that network, who happened to be setting up a game studio, and I couldn't understand why he was questioning me so persistently about, so have you played much Return to Castle Wolfenstein multiplayer? I was like, yes, really? Have you played it? Yes, I really have. So started off as a freelance writer, then writer-designer, game designer, senior game designer, then lead writer, which my mum thought was a demotion, but I'm trying to convince her she's wrong.
Just give us an idea of the scale, how much writing goes into a game like Brink?
Well, game writing is very odd, and that's actually what my talk here at the Develop Conference is about, is how little of it actually involves dialogue and character. I mean, that's a really big part of it, but particularly when you are a full-time, and I'm quite anomalous in some ways in that I'm a full-time embedded staff writer, and most writers work on several different projects. And I come in very early on a project, and I'm there right till the very end, which isn't usually the case. Quite often writers, unfortunately, are brought in very late on the project, sometimes too late to do much good. So I'm really there from the beginning, trying to answer questions. I think that's my approach, is that writing is all about solving problems with ideas, some of which happen to be words. So it's when the directors turn to you and say, so what is this game about and where is it set? That's a writing job. When people say what the environments look like and what kind of environmental narrative can you do, that's a writing job. That in a movie terms, that would be a location scout's job or a production designer's job. But I'm insistent that's absolutely part of games writing.
Hiring at the moment, but why would you say Splash Damage is a great place to work?
Well, we could just say, well, because we pay more. Splash Damage on salaries on about 10% above the UK average for the position. I could say that you're just going to be working on really interesting stuff, and we get to try stuff out. We could get to do interesting, experimental, exciting things. Mainly, it's a really good place to work. It's a really convivial, nice place. It's a fiercely talented team. We've been hiring in a big way. So our art director, who's Olivia Leonardi, who's there on Brick, who worked on Rainbow Six Vegas and Prince of Persia. Lead character artist Tim Appleby, who designed all the lead characters for BioWare's Mass Effect. Lead level designer Neil Alfonso, who's now lead game designer, who came off Fallout 2. Oh Lord, who we just hired? Lead coder off Heavenly Sword. The producer of Far Cry 2. It's I'm not going to say dream team, because unfortunately it involved me as well, but it's a very, very talented group of individuals, and there's a real passion for making games, and it's a fun place to work.
And whereabouts are you based? I think you're based in...
We're in Bromley. It's Greater London. It's Bromley, Kent. We did think about being, having some kind of prestige address in the middle of London, but that just means that no one can afford to live near work, which is unideal. So lots of people live very locally, and it's just a lot easier to get a big, nice place near the office. And a big, nice office, in fact.
Great. Finally, Ed, what advice would you give someone looking to maybe take up writing as a career, or alternatively someone working probably not as a writer, but still doing a job at a company like Splash Damage?
Well, if you want a career as a writer, try having a very successful career as something else first. It's really hard. I fell into it purely by chance. I think I'm very, very fortunate. There aren't that many jobs, and it's the same problem that everybody else has in this day and age, which is that it's never been easier to get your work in a visible state, and it's never been harder to stand out. So there are lots of indie games going on. There are lots of 1 and 2 man teams who could really benefit from a writing class. So but I think if you're starting off, there's there's work you can get done and made. It's getting paid for it. But at least it's much more important to have finished something that got made and put to market than going, oh, and here's 4 things I kind of wrote that never actually quite happened. So there is work out there. It's just not necessarily paid work to start off with.
Edward Stern, lead writer at Slackhammer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.